If you've ever felt buried beneath expectations, this story will dig straight into your heart. Because sometimes, to find the light, you must first walk into the dark. In a dusty village, surrounded by dry winds and cracked wells, lived a young man named Rafi. From the time he could walk, people told him what goodness looked like. Smile more, don't argue, be patient. And so he did. He helped everyone, mended fences, fetched water, carried burdens that weren't his. His hands were calloused, his heart even more so. But when the world went to sleep, Rafi lay awake, staring at the ceiling, whispering to himself, "If being good feels so right, why do I feel so wrong?" He longed to be understood, not just admired. He wanted to breathe freely, to say no without guilt, to do good because he believed in it, not because he was expected to. But in a world that loved appearances, honesty felt like rebellion. One evening, as the sun bled gold across the sky, Rafi overheard laughter behind the well. "He calls it kindness, but he's just afraid to stand up for himself," one villager sneered. Those words sliced deeper than a blade. That night, something inside Rafi broke. He packed a lantern, a loaf of bread, and a letter for his mother that simply read, "Don't worry, I'm going to find where my soul belongs." He walked toward the edge of the village, where the land dropped into a dark, forgotten mine. Once a place of wealth, now a tomb of silence. The elders said no one who entered ever came back, but Rafi didn't care. He whispered, "If peace doesn't live above ground, maybe it's waiting below." And with a deep breath, he stepped into the earth. The air inside was heavy, thick with dust, memory, and forgotten voices. The deeper he went, the more the light of the surface disappeared. His lantern cast trembling shadows across the stone walls, where old miners had carved prayers of fear and hope. For hours he walked through winding tunnels. Sometimes he heard whispers, or maybe they were just echoes of his own thoughts. He thought of the faces he had served, the smiles he had forced, the apologies he had whispered when he did nothing wrong. Finally, he stumbled into a vast underground cavern, glowing faintly with blue crystals that shimmered like trapped starlight. There, by the dying fire, sat an old hermit, cross-legged and still as stone. His robe was torn, but his eyes burned with calm. "Why are you here, young one?" the hermit asked. "Because I'm tired," Rafi said. "Tired of being good, tired of being used." The hermit smiled faintly. "Then you have come to the right place. The world above teaches goodness as performance, not as truth." He handed Rafi a small clay bowl filled with still water. "Drink. It will show you what burdens you carry." Rafi drank. The moment the water touched his lips, the cavern around him shimmered, and visions burst before his eyes. He saw himself bowing, smiling, agreeing, even when his heart screamed no. He saw his face always kind, but never honest. Then came the voices, layers of mockery and praise mixing like poison. "Good boy. Too soft. You're an angel. You're weak." Rafi dropped the bowl, gasping. The water spilled onto the stone floor and vanished into the cracks. From the darkness below, he heard a faint rumble, a hollow wind escaping from deep within the earth. The hermit nodded toward the cracks. "Go deeper. Truth hides beneath what breaks you." Rafi hesitated, but his heart, tired of pretending, pushed him forward. He crawled through the narrow opening. The tunnel grew smaller, wetter, darker. The air reeked of clay and time. He began to whisper to himself, voice trembling, "I've done everything right, but I've never done anything real." The walls seemed to breathe, echoing back, "Be real." He fell to his knees, sobbing, not out of fear, but release. For the first time, there was no one to impress, no one to please. Just him, raw, flawed, and alive. He kept moving. His lantern flickered out, but a faint glow began to rise ahead, pale and soft, like moonlight beneath the ground. Rafi stepped into a hidden chamber, a small underground lake, perfectly still, glowing from within. He knelt beside it, trembling, and saw his reflection, but not the one he knew. This one was unpolished, untamed, scarred, yet peaceful. He whispered, "What is goodness if it's only for approval?" And in that sacred silence, something inside him shifted. The water rippled, sending golden light dancing across the walls. It wasn't magic, it was understanding. He realized that goodness isn't a performance to win love. It's a truth that flows quietly when your heart aligns with purpose. Rafi stood up, stronger than before, and followed the faint glow leading upward. He climbed through the twisting paths, hands raw and knees bruised, until the first breath of fresh air hit his face. When he emerged, the villagers gasped. His face was covered in earth, his clothes torn, but his eyes carried peace, deep and unmoving. They asked, "What did you find down there?" He smiled. "I went underground to find the light, and it was already inside me." This story teaches us that stop living to please others. Live to meet your own soul. Sometimes the way up begins with going down. If this story moved your heart, subscribe for more tales that awaken your purpose. Let's keep walking deeper together.